governor is a passionate advocate for Michigan, and I know we'll see
I know we
that
have
here.
passionate advocates here in the audience, too.
So here's the first one from Nicholas Knox. A lot of the questions are from people from Michigan. Nicholas Knox from Davison, Michigan. How will re-educating the unemployed help the employment situation if there are no jobs for them to fill?
What we have done is we've restructured our whole workforce training effort all through the community colleges. We will pay for 2 years of tuition, $2,000 per year for any unemployed or underemployed worker who agrees to be retrained in an area of need. We won't pay for you to be retrained in getting a degree in French or political science. Those are my degrees, so I can say that safely. But we will pay for you to get a degree in something that is of need, like nursing. So while the unemployment rate is high, this is the time for people to go back and retool their skills.
Will Detroit ever really recover, in your honest opinion?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's a
And
short
come
answer.
on down.
Okay.
No, I mean, we have great bones, do we not? As a city and as a state, we have phenomenal resources. We've got terrific universities. We've got a great quality of life. We have more engineers in this region than all of the other states, plus Canada and Mexico combined. We are in a tough period, and we're in a tough period because we have an auto depression, an auto crisis, and layered upon that a financial crisis. So we are hit harder than any other state in the country because for 100 years we've been the auto capital of the world. And so we know that we've got to diversify. And that's part of the culture change that we've got to undergo in Detroit and in Michigan.
That's interesting. I guess I hadn't thought about it, that Michigan and Detroit in particular never really was an incubator for entrepreneurialism because there was the kind of corporate
Well, we had
mother.
some big entrepreneurs like Henry Ford,
Right.
Great entrepreneurs, but people came to rely upon them, and people moved here because they could work for them at $5 a day. You recall the great assembly line, but times have changed, and that's, if there's one message from this that I think we would all agree, is that we cannot do things today the way we have done them in the past.
Another Detroit question. I've heard it said that Detroit needs to reduce its geographical size, that it cannot continue to pay for services for such a wide area because the residents are so spread out. Wouldn't it be possible to take Detroit's vacant properties by eminent domain and then to sell them by auction to people who want to rebuild the city?
You don't even need to take them by eminent domain. You can take them at a foreclosure auction for very cheap. In fact, we've created a Michigan Land Bank, which is working with the Detroit Land Bank to assemble properties so that we can not just auction them, but make them available for job providers. Detroit was built as a city for 2 million, and it's got less than 1 million people now. So we've got a lot of vacant space. And so what do you do with that vacant space if you're the mayor? What do you do to make the city resize itself when the infrastructure is too expensive for the population that you have? And so there's been an awful lot of effort, and I'm a big booster of this, of greening Detroit, of making those properties green spaces, or of doing urban farming. Let me give you a quick example of that. I mean, that urban farming is a big deal. We created something in partnership with local community associations called Food Movers, where we are putting fresh food that people have grown locally on a truck, and with a kind of like an ice cream truck with music, and taking them into the neighborhood. The reason why that's important is because in many urban communities, including Detroit, there's not a lot of fresh food. There's not a lot of produce. And so if you can take some of that and give people the skills to be able to farm on these plots of land, give it to them for $1, have them work with the Michigan State University Extension, which is a land-based college that really is focused on agriculture, giving people the training to do that, and then have that be for them, or if they want to transform it into, small farmers markets. I'm a big believer in that, and I think Mayor Bing is also.
From Frida Zhao from Philadelphia, another industrial city that transformed itself.
Yes.
You have put great effort to stimulate the Michigan economy by focusing on green jobs and alternative energy. Many firms, however, are looking for environmental scientists and engineers, while most of Michigan's workers have only auto manufacturing experience. Can we really get people employed in those industries when there is such a great divide.
Right. There are many workers in Michigan that have auto manufacturing experience, but that same experience can be translated into renewable and alternative energy companies. The same people who bend steel to make cars can bend steel to make wind turbines. The same people who know how to program machines to build parts for a car can program machines to build parts for a solar panel or a wind turbine. And let me just say one other thing, which is the vehicle is not going away. We know that the vehicle will always be in demand. The question is, where is it going to be built and what is it going to be? So maybe and I believe the internal combustion engine will go away. But I do also believe that the electric vehicle will be here, or the fuel cell, whatever the next generation of that is. It's got to be built somewhere, right? And why not have it here?
Speaking of the future, there are a couple of questions about your future. After serving your last term as governor of Michigan, what would you do? Will you still be in politics? Would you choose a different career path? Would you go into the Obama administration?
I really don't know what I'm going to do, but I can tell you I will have had a lot of experience in lessons in leading during a time of sustained crisis.
Right.
I would say the biggest lesson, and this is what I may talk about after I'm done, is that you have to continue to play offense during that time. You can't just hunker down. You've got to continue to lead and push forward despite all of the challenges, and you have to have a skin as thick as a rhinoceros.
Okay. Well, Governor, I want to thank you. I want
Appreciate
to say
it.
that
Thank
we
you.
are on the side of the angels with this as well. We devoutly hope for the success of Detroit and Michigan.
Good. Well, we appreciate that.
And you're doing a heck of a job.
All right.
So we're gonna-